This is an insane week for VR. I mean, we have a lots of games coming up in October during one of the best spooky months of the year. From the funnily received on Twitter Starship Troopers to Batman Arkham Shadows to even a Square Enix VR game, dog, we have a lot to talk about. As a quick PSA before we get into this video, bro, if you say VR is dead within the next 6 months, we're gonna have to run a fade. I'm sorry. I said this on Twitter. Beardo agreed with me. We're gonna have to run a fade because there is a crazy amount of games coming out. I have a list later on this week going over some of the bigger titles coming out, but let's talk about the upcoming VR games of October. Before we get into it though, make sure you like and subscribe the video because a lot of you guys pull up and you don't leave a like and subscribe. So make sure you do that, hit the notification bell so you can get more VR content from me. The first game on our list is Vestiges Fallen Tribes, which is coming into early access on Steam on October 3rd. Vestiges is a new strategy card game in VR set in a tribal sci-fi universe. So it's set in a world where water has become rare and you have to lead your clan and face your opponents in strategic PvP battles and solo scenarios. It's pretty much like a battlefield that you gotta simulate, which is really cool. So apparently you have a deck of 20 cards and you gotta make do what you do. Now this game I have been looking forward to since it's been pretty much announced. It is so cool looking to me, and it's one of my favorite VR studios, WannaDev. So shout out WannaDev. They're the studio behind Propagation, Paradise Hotel, and just Propagation VR. They haven't really missed yet, so they have my full faith in making this something that's really fun to play. Our next game is a popular card game finally coming to VR, and it is Exploding Kittens VR. So this is legit the card game Exploding Kittens, but foot in VR, and you can play up to 5 players online or against bots and strategically force your opponents to draw the dreaded exploding kitten and be the last person standing to win. You can customize your own in-game avatars, explore the social hub, and dive into a variety of entertaining mini games. So this game has 3 unique game modes. You can battle it out in either classic or blitz mode with up to 5 players, or you can do a 1v1 against your biggest rival in duel mode. Personally, I've never played Exploding Kittens, so I'm definitely interested to see how people receive this game. But it looks really well made and really fun, so I hope it does well. Our third game is coming on October 10th to MetaQuest, and it is called Metamorphosis VR. So apparently this is a flat 2 VR port for MetaQuest about a game where a guy gets turned into a roach. And basically it is an adventure platformer where you have to go through this very surreal, beautifully twisted world where you have to use your insect ability just to get back to your human form. Personally, this is probably the most insane concept of a game, and I actually really want to try it because I can't imagine being a cockroach, man. This game is crazy. So yes, they've actually piqued my interest. I was not expecting me to play as a cockroach this year, but hey, here we are, new things. I love this trend of these PC games getting ported over to VR, and I hope this continues. We're gonna see how Metamorphosis does with the VR version on October 10th. Our next game coming on October 10th to MetaQuest and Steam VR, Silent Slayer, Vault of the Vampire. In this game, you have to slay sleeping vampires. So that's a really interesting concept. So essentially all these coffins these vampires lie in are booby trapped. You have to follow the guide of a mystical book that's gonna help you pretty much get through all the coffins without, getting murderized by the vampires within. So it's a very high tension, jump scare heavy game that you have to really be careful when you play. This game also does have a mixed reality mode that I saw, so that's really cool. Shout out to mixed reality, shout out to the devs for thinking outside the box. No pun intended. We definitely need more vampire VR games, and I'm definitely here for it. Our next game is an escape room. Another Door escape room is coming to MetaQuest on October 10th. A lot of games on October 10th, but this is an escape room experience, but in VR. So it takes you through a series of immersive, unsettling environments, each with their own unique story and chilling challenges. Dope thing about this game is that it is co-op, so you can either play it by yourself or with a group of friends. You basically have to escape before it's too late, whatever that means, but usually that means things that are not good. So make sure you keep a lookout for Another Door escape room on MetaQuest. Have you ever wanted to conduct the orchestra? Well, I have, not gonna lie. It's like one of those low-key things I've always wanted to do. Maestro coming to Steam VR and MetaQuest on October 17th finally allows you to do that. So basically, it's a rhythm game where you conduct an orchestra. That is the coolest thing and the most random VR game idea ever, but it looks amazing. It basically uses gesture controls to kind of let you do the rhythm part. and it looks very well done. So if you ever wanted to be a Maestro, this is your time. Go live out your dream. Our next game is a very famous VR remake of a very classic VR zombie shooter. Arizona Sunshine Remake is coming out to MetaQuest, PSVR2, and Steam VR on October 17th. So like I said, this is a remake of the original Arizona Sunshine, and this time you have very great graphics because the original game definitely aged. You got co-op, you got more weapons. They even added the new mutilation and gore system from the second game, and it's also complete with all the DLC in the game. So if you never got to try out Arizona Sunshine, or just want to relive a classic zombie game with a brand new coat of paint, this is definitely the time to do it. I'm definitely looking forward to Arizona Sunshine on really all platforms. And the dopest part I forgot to mention earlier is the horde mode that has up to 4 players. So there's gonna be a lot of fun on this one. Our 8th game is a game I never thought would exist in VR form until it got announced this year, and it is Batman Arkham Shadow exclusively for the MetaQuest. I don't even have to say much. I mean, it's Batman. I'm surprised this exists. Like, if you would have told me last year that next year we would get a Batman VR game and it actually looks pretty good, I would have laughed at you. I genuinely have no idea how they did this. But I'm so glad because I really want to throw hands as Batman, and you can expect a review from me or even a first impressions or something. I'm covering this game for sure. I'm so excited. I'm hoping that this is going to be a really good experience with a really good story because Arkham Batman definitely deserves it, especially how they handle, Suicide Squad. There's not much else to say on this one. October 22nd. If you got a MetaQuest 3S, then it's, you obviously get it for free. So use my link in the description. The shameless plug. Our next game is from one of my favorite developers and dreams, and it is called Vendetta Forever, releasing on October 24th on PSVR2 and MetaQuest. This game is essentially like being in an action movie, but the way you move is a little bit different from your average VR game. It is powered by low kill motion. So basically, whenever you kill someone, you take their spot, you move forward in the map, and the map and game keeps going. So in this game, there are 60 unique scenes, 20 different modifiers, 50 plus iconic weapons, and there's over 50 achievements. So there's plenty to do in this type of game. Usually these type of games don't have a lot of content, so I'm glad they put an emphasis on, this is going to have a good bit of content. So I'm really excited to try this one, and hopefully I can get a review key for it. Our next game is Wanderer Fragments of Fate. Now this game is one of my favorite VR puzzle games, and it's releasing on October 31st. This is essentially a time travel adventure puzzle game, which is like the craziest concept. So like, let's say you go back in time, you may need a puzzle or a clue or something from back then you go back to the future and actually use to progress in the game. This game did come out before. It had an original release that you can still play, and it's honestly still a pretty great game. But this remake is literally from the ground up. I mean, you got facial animations, the characters look better, the water looks better, you got reflections. It truly looks like a next generation VR game. I'm so excited to see how it looks upon release because it's gonna be on all platforms. And honestly, I need this. This game is probably one of my most anticipated VR games. You don't really see this a lot. Like studios kind of go back and truly remake their game from the ground up like this. So shout out Wanderer VR. I'm excited. I'm just really excited to see what you guys do next. And I can't wait for Halloween. Our next game is Underworld Overseer, the ultimate dungeon management experience in VR. This game is releasing on October 31st, so it's releasing on Halloween. So apparently this game is very reminiscent or very inspired by Dungeon Keeper. So like Dungeon Keeper is a really old game. So like, if you guys know what it is, that's totally fine because I totally forgot. But in this game, you have to build your own dungeon to stop adventurers from pretty much going through your domain. So you can set strategic traps to, trap the adventurers. You can use powerful spells to destroy them. And this game has 18 uniquely designed levels, with each of them demanding approximately 20 to 25 minutes of the strategic gameplay. The developers say prepare to outmaneuver your adversaries and overcome diverse challenges, requiring unconventional tactics and sharp decision-making skills to claim victory. I'm not gonna lie, this is a crazy concept for a VR game because most of the time you're the adventurer, so being on the other side of things is really cool and really unique. So I'm actually excited to try this one. Hopefully I have time because there's a lot of games releasing on October 31st, so it wasn't gonna be busy, but I do want to make time for sure to visit this one because I do like the look of it. It's very, very retro in terms of design, and I do like that. So with that being said, Underworld Overseer on October 31st. Our 12th game in our list is honestly probably one of the most surprising announcements to come out of MetaConnect. And I feel like people just skipped right over it. Triangle Fantasy is coming to MetaQuest on October 31st. This is a Square Enix game. That essentially means Square Enix made a VR game, a VR port of a classic series that people have been asking for a while now. This game right here looks amazing. It looks perfectly built for VR, and this may be the closest we'll ever get to getting a Final Fantasy VR game. Now stick with me here. Imagine if they put the original Final Fantasies in this type of art style in VR. If this sells well, I'm getting this day one. This is a day one cop for me. Dude, when I tell you that I feel like they just brushed over this and people kind of didn't care about it, it blew my mind for like an hour. Bro, I was like, bro, is that Final Fantasy? And then I realized it was Triangle Strategy, and I was like, bro, that's Triangle Strategy. What the heck? So basically, and it's funny, I'm getting to the explanation of the game this late, but Triangle Strategy is pretty much a JRPG. So JRPG, you make decisions, you have very strategic battles, and you build a team of allies to help you get through the game. I never played this one myself because I played the original Final Fantasy and then played Triangle Strategy. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this plays in VR, because I can imagine this even with like a mixed reality mode with like the Quest 3S or the Quest 3. So definitely keep your eyes on this one. And like I said, October 31st, I'm playing this. All right, guys, this is our third to last game, and honestly, maybe one of the funniest VR game announcements I've ever seen in my life. Guys, this is Starship Troopers Continuum. This is a VR co-op shooter coming to Quest and PSVR2. Bro, the reaction to this trailer was hilarious. This is getting developed by the same XR games that made the recently not so good Hitman VR port for the Quest. Yikes. People saw the trailer and got instantly mad. It was hilarious. I'm telling you, I saw the trailer, I saw the reaction, and all the PSVR guys were just like, nope, not doing it. It was so funny, man. It was hilarious. Like, I enjoyed that whole reaction. Like, this game, I'm gonna hold judgment until it comes out, because hopefully, and we have seen there are some screenshots of a PCVR or PSVR version, so we're gonna see. This is gonna be coming October 17th for the MetaQuest platform first, and then October 31st for PSVR2. So fingers crossed, prayers are up. But if this is terrible on PSVR2, oh my god, it's gonna be something. And you definitely can expect a video from your boy. Our second to last game, which honestly got a real surprise announcement and is developed by Joyway EXOcars, is coming out in October. So we don't have a date. I wish we had a date, but I'm assuming it's gonna be towards the later half of October. Now, this is a VR buggy racing experience. So you're gonna be driving in streets, stadiums, deserts, mountains, tropical paradises. There's gonna be a lot of different tracks that you gotta navigate in EXOcars. You got ramps, drifts, natural obstacles, and a bunch of other things that make the race more interesting. So this is gonna be available on essentially all platforms, but the biggest question I have right now, is it going to be able to support a wheel? So the developer did say that it may. They're working on it, they're planning it, but is it gonna come day one? We don't know. But what's dope about this is that it's real-time multiplayer and you get a single player option. So whether you want to race with your friends or race by yourself and put up numbers, it's up to you. But if this game does turn out good, and even with the tournaments they added and the other stuff and the car customization, if this turns out good, this can be probably the best racing game on the MetaQuest. Now, obviously PSVR 2 has Gran Turismo, and then PCVR has Assetto Corsa and a few other games. But for MetaQuest standalone, this could potentially be the best racing game if this has a great launch. So I'm actually keeping an eye on this one to kind of see where they're going with it, how the release is going to be. I do have a review key lined up, so you can definitely expect some coverage from me on this one. Last but not least, we have one of my favorite VR horror games of all time. This is Phasmophobia coming to the PSVR2. Now this game is simply amazing. I love Phasmophobia. I started playing it when it first came out, and seeing it grow over the years has been just a pleasure and really fun to watch. It's finally coming to consoles, and I'm excited because that means you guys to play it on the PSVR2, and you guys need a horror game on that console, especially a multiplayer horror game. I think that's where Phasmophobia shines, because it's just an unparalleled experience in terms of just ghost hunting and multiplayer horror. Being alone in a house with a ghost that you can't see until it's too late most of the time is a different type of experience, and honestly this game does so well at what it does. I can imagine with HDR and the PSVR2's OLED display, this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be a real treat for the console guys. You can definitely expect a video from me on this game when it comes out on console. Alrighty guys, that is our upcoming VR games of October. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Let me know what games you're looking forward to in October, and honestly for the rest of the year, because the rest of the year is stacked. Yikes. Ooh, I got a lot of reviewing to do. But let me know what you guys think. It's me with Mardu VR. Make sure you go to VRart.com, get you subscription lenses for any VR headset. They have them all. Use code Mardu VR for 10% off. Help me help you save some money. Always remember guys, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.